Hi guys, I hope you guys are well. This is, I don't even know how long this word slash chit chat is going to be. It's going to be a mixture of like the word that God gave me. God showed me some things last night, and I just want to say something. This is not going to be for everybody, and not everyone's going to understand it. The people that are going to understand it are those who are currently going through it, or those who have been through it. And those who God is clearly showing these things to. Okay, so I want to just say that for many of you guys, it's been a long time coming, and many of you guys, you have indeed suffered. And here's the thing, you know, when you go through these types of things, you don't always want to see yourself as a victim, because you're like, man, like, I don't want to be this victim all the time. Like, it's annoying, and I don't want to, you know what I mean? Because it seems like this type of stuff that you go through, it's not normal. It's not normal. And it's like back to back. It's back to back. And because it's back to back and it's not normal, and if you were to open up your mouth and tell people, I went through this, I went through this, I went through this, I went through this, it would sound like you are a victim all the time. It would sound like you consider yourself a victim. You know how some people, they always do stuff and they're the problem, but they portray themselves to be a victim, even though they know they're the problem, even though people know they're the problem, they always portray themselves to be a victim, right? And they kind of use that victim mentality for people to feel bad for them, or they tend to use that victim mentality to deflect, and so they don't have to take accountability for the things that they're doing, right? And for many of you guys, you don't do that. You don't do that. It's like, no matter what, things keep happening to you, and you're not doing anything to anybody to deserve it. But when you tell people, hey, this is happening, that's happening, that's happening, that's happening, they would look at you and think you're delusional and think, okay, you must be the problem, because there's no way every time you meet someone they do this, or every time you're in a relationship this happens, or every time, you know, you're doing good this happens. Like, they would literally say, okay, you must be the problem. And people that will, you know, say that, they're not wrong, because you know what, it's common sense. When you hear something like someone's going through something a lot over and over and over again, you would think, okay, something's probably wrong with you, and you deflecting, you're not taking accountability. Like, you would think that. However, and that's like what the average human being would think. However, when people don't understand spiritual warfare, and they don't understand what it's like to be a child of God, and what it's like to consistently be attacked, to consistently have to go through warfare after warfare, they're not going to understand that what you're saying is actually the truth, and everything you're going through is actually the truth. They're just going to see it as you're always the victim, which means you may be the problem, because I can't see that everywhere you go, someone's attacking you. I can't see that. And they're not going to see it because they're not spiritually sensitive. They're not going through what you're going through. And if they're not chosen, if they're not chosen to walk the walk that you have, they're not going to understand the battles that you have. You get what I'm saying? They're not going to understand it. An example of this is Joseph. And let me tell you why I'm even bringing up Genesis. First things first, I'm going to say this. The Lord whispered some things to me this morning, okay? Early this morning. I think it was around like 4:30, because I woke up like 3 times to pray last night. And the final time, not the final time, but the second time, no, I woke up 4 times to pray. 4 times to pray. And the third time I woke up to pray, after I got up and I went back into the bed, the Lord whispered, innocent. He said, innocent. Then he said, stay humble. Then he said, vindication. Okay. And he also mentioned they're worried, right? So, then he showed me a vision, and the words in big white letters, Genesis. Okay. So I knew that everything that he was saying was a reference from Genesis, everything that goes down in Genesis. And this is why I'm bringing up Joseph as an example for this, because you have to remember, Joseph did nothing wrong to his family. Okay, absolutely nothing wrong. He just minding his business, doing what he needs to do, working, whatever he needs to do. Joseph felt so listen, anyone that openly runs to you and wants to share their dreams with you and share something so personal with you, it means that they trust you. It means they trust you, right? And the fact that Joseph openly wanted to share his dream with his family, his brothers, and he had no problem doing it, meant that he trusted them. Meant that he didn't think anything of it. You see what I'm saying? And that alone confirms like his heart. That alone confirms like his mentality and him being open to share things with people, especially people that he loves, his family. Him being open enough to do that, right? And yet they went and they tried to kill him first. Let's not forget that. They tried to kill him first. That was plot one. And when that didn't work, no, plot one was when they actually started plotting against him. So him and his brothers had to go to a separate place and start gossiping about Joseph, talking about his future, talking about his dreams, talking about what he told them, gossiping about him. Then that's when they decided to plot, because both of them realized they didn't want him to get to that place in his life. So that's when they started to actually plot against him. After they plotted against him, then they tried to kill him. Then after they tried to kill him and realized that that wasn't going to work, then they decided, okay, we're going to sell him. So do you see the steps of wickedness that they took before it got to the point where they sold him? It took a bunch of steps before it got to that point, to where they actually sold him and they actually took action towards things, right? So there was a lot of steps that had taken place. And despite Joseph going through that, he gets sold. He lands into this man's house, Potiphar, helps Potiphar. Potiphar is seeing the most abundance he's ever seen because of Joseph's favor, him being there, to where Joseph helped him, gain more in every area in his life. So Joseph helped elevate him, only for Joseph to be accused and then be thrown in jail, only for Joseph to also be betrayed in jail. You see what I'm saying? Even though he was favored in jail, he was still betrayed in jail. Like, do you get where I'm coming from? Like, so look how much things happened to Joseph, and Joseph did nothing wrong. The whole time Joseph was innocent. He didn't do anything to anybody. But if Joseph would have went to people and said, hey, this and this and this and this and this happened, they would have been like, how come everywhere you go, you're being betrayed by people? How come every encounter you have, people are betraying you, or they're lying to you, or they're accusing you, or how come this, how come that? People would think that Joseph was the problem because of all the things that's going on with him. And then there's some people who are very superstitious. They'll say, oh, you must have done something in your life to deserve all that. You must have done something in your life to deserve all that. That's what they would have said to him. Like, there's no way you're going through all of that and you're innocent. You must have did something wrong to deserve all that. And that's where I'm going with this. Like, the Lord was telling me last night, again, he said innocent. He said stay humble. He said Genesis. He said they're worried. And then he said vindication. Many of you guys, you are in that similar boat where you were accused, you were put down. There's a lot that you're going through. And people participated in this. Reason being is because they thought you did something wrong, and they were trying to look for ways and reasonings to condone mistreating you. 1 second, y'all. Get your water. Like, people were looking for reasons to condone their wickedness. And you've done nothing to them for them to do these things to you. But you know what it is? It's because these people are very evil. They're very evil. The spirit that they're operating from is extremely evil. And the Lord, it's not a word from it, but the Lord wants those who resonate with this to know that you have not done anything to deserve what you've been going through. And here's the thing. A lot of you guys that relate with this, when you have people who are very close to you doing the types of things that they're doing to you, whether it's witchcraft, whether it's lying on you, gossiping, and these are people that have been doing this repetitively, okay? You tend to start to think, this is like, again, this is programmed failure, what they've tried to program in you from a very young age. You tend to start to think that you may have done something to them a long time ago that you don't even remember, that may have triggered them into doing this. And then you start reflecting on the past and what you could have done to make this person do this, or to make these people do this, right? And you keep trying to look for reasonings, and God is saying, no, like, you have not done anything wrong. These people are just extremely wicked, extremely just evil. These people are allowing the enemy to use them. And the problem is that a lot of these people that are doing this to you guys, that were close to you, they wanted to see you fail. That's the problem. They wanted to see you fail. And a lot of them, they never really had good intentions for you from the get-go, from the beginning. They wanted to see you fail. They wanted to see you down, right? And growing up, when things were going on with you, or things were happening with you, and whether you may have done things you're not proud of, whether you may have been, you're in the world, whether you may have been drinking, smoking, whether you may have been stealing, whatever it is that you were doing, right? These people liked to see you operating from that spirit. They liked to see you operating from that because they wanted a reason to validate why they hate you, why they dislike you. They wanted a reason to condone their wickedness towards you. And when you were acting this way and doing these things, they would go behind your back and start gossiping about you. Some of them, they were having hour-long sessions over the phone talking about you, group chats, family group chats, friend group chats, bringing up the things that you were doing in the past that you're not proud of, and talking about it and laughing about it and shaming you, right? Because here's the thing, these people always had a problem with you. Before you started doing things that you're not proud of, they already had an issue with you. But they had no reason to dislike you. So when you started doing things, or you started telling your friends your little secrets, or you started telling family your little secrets, or you started getting in trouble, getting arrested, whatever it is happened to you back then, right? Their adrenaline rush was pumped when you used to go through these things. They were pumped. They were pumped because all they had to say to people when they saw you going through these things was, I told you so. I told you he's like this. I told you she's like that. And a lot of them tried to say you were not going to be nothing good in life. Nothing good in life, trying to put word curses on you. Some of them putting curses on you, paying witch doctors and practitioners to do witchcraft on you. And then when you're acting out based on the afflictions, and you not knowing you're going through these afflictions because you didn't know what witchcraft was, or you didn't even know how spiritually sensitive you were going to be, and you had no idea what was going on with you. You just knew that you were like going through all these things, getting in so much trouble. You couldn't sleep. You just knew that you were going through a hard time, but you had no idea they were actually afflicting you, right? They would afflict you, watch you act up, watch you do the things that you're doing, and then laugh, gossip about you, and be like, oh, you see, I told you. When they're the ones that were actually triggering you and doing things to implement these things within you. Okay? And here's the thing. I'm not saying you're not supposed to take accountability for your past and the things that you may have done in the past. Take accountability. But here's the thing. This is why these people, when they see you now, why do you think they're going harder with the witchcraft? Why do you think now they're trying to block you? Why do you think they're going so hard? Because when you were doing things you're not supposed to be doing back then, they wanted you to be like that. They wanted you to be like that. But now that you know what's going on, you're sensitive in the spirit, you're not about to let anything stop you from getting to where God needs you to be. You changed your life. You went to school, or you may have went to work, graduated from school. You may have even got a business now. Whatever it is you're doing, your life completely changed. Your life completely changed. And that's not what they expected out of you. They expected worse. They wanted you to be in jail. They wanted you to be stuck in jail. They wanted you to be dead. They wanted you to be homeless. They wanted these horrible things to happen to you, and they wanted you to stay down. They wanted you to stay down so they can say that everything that they've been saying about you all your life was the truth, to make it seem like they're right about you. They know everything about you, and everything they've been saying is the truth about you. See, the way how your life is right now, it's confirming to people that they have went and spread lies to, it's confirming to them that they were wrong about you the whole time. It's confirming to them who the problem really is. That's what's going on. And that's why you notice that as soon as you start elevating, as soon as you give your life to Christ now, you're not smoking and drinking, you're not out with people, like you're really just minding your business, you're doing things, you're breaking curses, you're breaking generational curses. And the fact that they're seeing you do all this, that's why they're going 10 times harder with the witchcraft. That's why they're trying everything in their power to tear you down. Because why? Because they so badly did not want to see you win. Even before you were doing things you were not proud of, they did not want to see you win. They always wanted to see you down. That was the thing. That was the problem. That was the problem. Right? And now many of them, I'm going to be honest with you, because God was showing me something last night in the spirit. There's many of them who are very shamed right now. And a lot of people that you grew up with are keeping an eye on you. They did not expect this outcome in your life. You're not even where God needs you to be yet. You're not even at level 20, level 30, level 40, wherever levels. You're not even there yet. This is just the beginning for you. This is just the beginning for you. And they're already worried. They're already worried. You know why? Because although this is just the beginning for you, look how far you've come. And you're still in the beginning stages. And look how far you've come. They're worried. You know why they're worried? Because the truth is coming out. Many people you grew up with that sat there and ran your name through the mud and lied on you, had 2-hour-long conversations about you, talking about this, talking about you doing that. Many people that went to spiritualists and witch doctors to bury you and do spell work on you, a lot of them are keeping an eye on you right now because every single thing that's going on in your life right now, they did not expect it. They were expecting the worst. They were expecting the worst. And let me tell you something. Do you know some of these people? Let me tell you something. I'm talking about the wicked ones, okay? They have a problem with God. They have an issue with God. And here's the thing. For someone to be so wicked to where you have to go and do witchcraft on someone and you are allowing a demonic spirit to influence you in that way, people that have this mindset, let me tell you something. They have a problem with God because they are blaming God for how their life turned out. They're blaming God for the things they did not achieve. And here's the thing. Everybody has that opportunity to achieve greatness. Everybody has the opportunity to have a good relationship with God. Everybody has the opportunity to answer the call if God calls them. The thing is, these people, their ways, their heart is wicked and their ways, and they're selfish. Very selfish. Because here's the thing, they think that God is some type of genie that they can just call upon and say, hey, I want this, I want that, and God, their wish is granted. God does not operate like that. But because you see, that's the mentality they have, and they're very selfish and their ways are wicked, that because things did not work out in that way, right? And they did not think that they would have to put in work, strip their flesh, change their heart, change their ways. They thought things were going to be granted to them. They took offense to that because it didn't happen for them. They took offense to that. And because they took offense to that, they preferred to do wickedness than to work and do the best thing they can do in their life for God's will. They preferred to do wickedness than to change their ways, right? Be obedient, strip their flesh, and wholeheartedly walk with God. Because they felt like, you know what? God didn't give me what I wanted, so you know what? I'm going to just do this anyways. That's their mentality because they're selfish. They're selfish. So they chose the easy route. They chose the easy route, right? And the problem is because things didn't work out in their life the way they wanted it to, so their stubbornness, they chose to settle. Instead of saying, you know what, God, I'm going to give my life to you. I'm going to take the walk seriously. I'm going to change my ways. I'm going to get rid of the flesh. They're too stubborn. You know why? They're too stubborn because they're stuck in their ways. So they chose to settle. And because they chose to settle, they're not happy with their life. A lot of them are not happy with their life. They settled and they're not happy. And here's the thing. So they're expecting your life to fall downhill. They're expecting everything they wished upon you to happen in your life. And then look now, everything that they're seeing that you're doing right now, is what they wanted in their life. And they're seeing that every day that goes by, because trust me, they watch you like a hawk and they stalk you every single day. Every single day. If you block them, they are on fake accounts. If you block the fake accounts, they're on other family members or other friends' accounts watching you. Through these people. Trust me, they're watching you. You see what I'm saying? If it's not through accounts, it's through a spiritualist, it's through a psychic. They're watching your life. You know why? Because they so badly don't want to be wrong about you. Their ego is crushed. And they're seeing that every day that goes by, you are progressing. You are elevating. You are doing every single thing that they wanted to do in their life. The difference is you're not selfish. The difference is you take accountability. The difference is you decided to repent. The difference is you decide to change your life. You decide to do the work. That's the difference. You changed your whole life, and God renewed your mind and renewed your heart. And he is blessing you and elevating you because of that. But here's the thing, many of you guys, you've always had this heart. You've always had the type of heart where like you're just like, God, you know what? I'm willing to change. And it's like you're not asking for anything out of it. You just wholeheartedly want happiness and just want peace. Because after going through the amount of turmoil that you go through your whole life, you just want peace. You don't even care if you have a big house. You don't even care if you have a nice car. You don't even care. You just want happiness and peace. And that's how you've always wanted it your whole life. And these people will do anything in their power. They were doing everything in their power back then to strip you of your happiness, to strip you of your peace. And this is why when you felt like you were restless and you didn't really have any peace or happiness growing up and you were being attacked from everybody growing up and you didn't know what was going on, this is what led you to do the things that you did. This is what led you to snap. This is what led you to steal. This is what led you to do things like that. On top of that, the witchcraft. Right? But ever since you found God and you know, man, I can really have that happiness and peace. You're not even thinking about the blessings. You're not even thinking about the reward. You're only thinking about the happiness and peace. And because you know it's possible to receive that, you made the changes. And because of that, God is blessing you with more than you expected. More than what you expected. Because your heart and your motive for making these changes was the right motive. It wasn't because you want blessings and riches and this. You made these changes wholeheartedly because you truly wanted to know who God is. You truly want to have a relationship with him. You truly want peace in your life. You truly want love in your life. You truly want to be happy because that is something that's been stripped from you from a very young age. And that's something that you have been wanting your whole life, and people have tried to block you from receiving that. That is a birthright. It is a birthright to have peace. It is a birthright to be happy. And people try to strip that from you. They try to strip that from you because they're wicked. They're wicked, and the spirit they're operating from is wicked. And because they saw a light in you, and they still see the light in you, but they saw the light at a young age, and they did not want you to keep growing through that light. They knew you were going to be something. So they tried to dim that light from a very young age to try to ensure that you don't become who God wants you to be. Because why? They couldn't even see their own light. They couldn't find their own light because they're selfish. All they were focused on is what can I gain from God, instead of I want peace and happiness and I want to know God for who God truly is. No, they wanted gain. And everything that God is giving you right now is what they wanted. And that's why they're going so hard to try to block you and try to stop you. That's why they're going so hard. And guess what? They're worried because every day that goes by and they're keeping an eye on you and they're watching everything that's going on in your life, they're seeing that you are elevated. They're seeing that you are healing. They're seeing your light is getting brighter. They're seeing that you are blessed. They're seeing that you are favored. They are seeing that you are elevating. Everything that they are doing, it's not working. Because the more and more and more day goes by, you're getting better and better and stronger and stronger and stronger through God. That's what's bothering them, and that's why they're worried. Because let me tell you something. Back then when they were attacking y'all, they sat in your face and talked to you, making it seem like they were concerned about what's going on in your life and what's going on with you. Tell me your problems. What's going on? Oh, maybe you did something wrong to go through this. Maybe it's karma for this. Maybe you're reaping what you sowed because of this. Whatever they said to you. Whatever they said to you. to try to condone their wickedness, to try to gaslight you and flip it on you, throwing you in psych wards, saying that you're mentally ill and crazy, trying to throw you in jail and say that you're not stable and you're dangerous. You see what I'm saying? Trying to tell people don't date you, don't be with you. That's not a good man, or that's not a good woman. That's not who you want in your life. That's not who you want to marry. Putting a bad name out there when it comes to you. Putting a bad name out there about you. Right? And then they're doing all these things behind your back, and they're here smiling in your face and laughing in your face, trying to pretend they're your friend. Trying to pretend they're your friend when they sat on the phone for 2 hours talking to a whole bunch of other people about you, about your life, and what you're doing, what they would never do, how they can never be like you because you're a disgrace. Family members doing the same thing. How bad of a child you are, how you did this and how you did that. Not realizing what you were battling behind the scenes, not realizing the abuse you were enduring behind closed doors. But they were all talking bad about you like you were the problem. Like you were the problem, right? And a lot of them are afflicting you and looking in your face and smiling in your face. A lot of them sat there and watched you cry. Watched you cry, watched you weep. A lot of them sat there and watched you homeless. Watched you on the street homeless and hungry. And didn't say nothing. Instead, mocked you behind the scenes and talked about how you deserve what you're going through because it's because of you why your life is like that. It's because of you why you're homeless now. It's because of you why you're thrown out the house. It's because of you why you got no food. Because of you why you got no job. Because of you why you're in the hospital. Because of you why you're in jail. When they were the ones afflicting you, or there was someone around them afflicting you, and they were jumping on that hate train, condoning that person's behavior to afflict you. And then they would gaslight you, make you seem like you're the problem. And that's why they're worried. Because every single thing that they were saying about you and that they were trying to do to you, it's backfiring on them. And they're watching you, and every day they're watching, they're seeing God elevate you. They're seeing God uplift you. They're seeing God's favor on your life, and it is bothering them. And they are worried. Because you know why they're worried? Because now they know there's a God. They know there's a God. Because the whole time they were saying to themselves, oh, maybe God's not even real. Or, maybe God doesn't care about me. This is whatever excuse they were saying about God, or whatever problem they had with God, because they could not figure out why God was not blessing them. Instead of taking accountability, they tried to blame God. Or they tried to say there's no God. But then they sat up in church preaching and praying to use church as a cover-up for their behavior. Right? And some of them sitting in church their whole life, right? Sitting in church their whole life while they were mistreating you. But going to church on Sundays, but they were mistreating you, gossiping about you, talking about you, but they were going to church on Sundays, praying and jumping up and down in the church, screaming in tongues, and they would come home and mistreat you. That's what they were doing. And many of them that did that, they're sitting here like, God, I've been in church my whole life. I know the Bible at the back of my head. I've been praying my whole life. How come you gave the blessing and the gift to him? Or how come you gave the blessing and the gift to her? Why are they anointed? Why are they chosen when I've been doing it? Because God knows their heart. God saw what they were doing behind closed doors. God saw how they used the church as a cover-up and behind closed doors abused you. God sees that. God has eyes everywhere, and they forgot that. They forgot that though, right? And the sad part is some of these very people that were afflicting you, that were doing witchcraft on you, some of these very people, you literally sat there and told God that when you make it in life, they were going to be the first people you were going to bless. Or even thinking about the types of blessings you were going to bless them with if God changes your life. You prayed to God and said, God, if you change my life, I'm not going to be selfish, God. I'm going to bless my cousin. I'm going to bless my uncle. I'm going to bless my friend. I'm going to bless my ex. I'm going to bless my girlfriend. I'm going to bless my boyfriend. I'm going to bless my husband, bless my wife. I'm going to bless my grandma. I'm going to bless... You were telling God, if you bless me, God, I'm going to give the blessing to them. I'm going to give half to them. I'm going to give a quarter to them. I'm going to make sure they're good. I'm going to make sure that they're successful as well. Because I watched them struggle too, God. Not realizing the very people or the very person that you wanted to give that blessing to was the very one trying to block yours. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what God told me. Some of you guys, who are seers or a prophet, whatever gift he gave you. But if you are able to see in the spirit, God has been showing many of y'all for years, for months, however long he's been showing you. He has been showing you, he's been showing y'all the wrath of some of these people and what's going to happen to them. And he has been showing you guys this for years. Whether it's been years or whether it's been months, he's been showing y'all the wrath of these people that have done this to you. And the thing about God as well is, like, he won't always tell you when it's going to happen. But I want to tell you what he said. Stay humble. He didn't say be humble. He said stay humble. Let me tell you the difference. When God says be humble, it means you're not being humble. It means you're boasting, you're this, you're that. You're not doing the right thing right now. So you need to be humble. But when God says stay humble, you know what that means? You're doing a good job. Whatever you're doing right now, continue doing it. You're doing a good job. Stay humble means continue what you're already doing. Stay humble. Okay? Because let me tell you something. God is not a man that he shall lie. Let me tell you something about God. God gets the final laugh. You don't laugh. You let God laugh. You don't laugh. There's been times where sometimes you guys will see something in the vision or in the spirit, or you'll find, and you may have a little chuckle here and there, but he's going to check you. Because he doesn't want you to glorify the wrath. When God shows me certain things about certain people and what's going to happen to them, I start feeling bad for them. I feel so bad for them. You get what I'm saying? I feel bad for them. But let me tell you something. Many of you guys who he's showing, many of you guys are feeling bad. If you chuckled, repent. Don't chuckle. Don't laugh. He is showing you because he's letting you know that he's going to vindicate you. He's letting you know that he hears you. He's letting you know that he has seen every single tear that you have cried. That he has bottled every single tear that you have cried. He is letting you know that the angels in heaven have written down every piece and detail of your story. It is written. It has been written. He is letting you know that there is justice. He is letting you know that he has the final say. Not the gossipers, not the naysayers, not the abusers, not the witches and warlocks. He has the final say when it comes to your life and what goes on in your life. Right? So if God is showing you what is happening to some of the people, he has been showing you for a while. He is letting you know that what he has shown you still stands. It's like a prophecy, no different from a prophecy. When God keeps showing you repetitively his will for your life and the prophecy over and over and over and over and over again, he's showing you that the prophecy still stands. That's why he's showing it to you over and over and over again, so you don't become weary and doubtful. It's the same concept when it comes to vindication. It's the same concept when it comes to his vengeance, his wrath. He has been showing y'all for months or for years what's going to happen to some of these people who are wicked like this, who are not repenting, who he has warned multiple occasions. Some of you guys, he has told you to warn these people. You have reached out to them and you have spoken to them and told them to leave you alone. And they didn't listen. They didn't listen. In fact, they kept going. He said, stay humble. What you're doing right now, continue doing it. The way your heart is, keep it there. For those who are humble, he said, stay humble. It means they're doing the right thing right now. And to continue staying humble. Okay? Whew. Doors are going to open. I just heard him say open doors. Doors are going to open. And not only that, thank you, Holy Spirit. These people open some doors, they're going to wish they didn't open. they're going to wish they can shut. These people open doors they're going to wish they didn't open. Okay? So I wanted to give y'all this word. Be encouraged. Stay focused. God loves you. Okay? And I want to just say also, it's so important to forgive. Forgive. And some of you guys, when God shows you what's going to happen to some of the people, or if he's already shown you, you may feel bad when you hear about the wrath, or when you see what happened, or if you witnessed what happened, or if it already happened, you may feel bad. You may feel bad. But understand that sometimes things have to happen for people to change and for people to learn. Look how much times we went through stuff because we weren't listening. We were disobedient. And guess what? We had to learn, and we learned. And that's why we changed our lives. But unfortunately, some people are very stubborn. You get what I'm saying? Continue being great. Forgive them. Forgive them. A lot of them right now that mistreated you, they're flying up in church right now. A lot of them are going to church now. Some of them, they've been going to church their whole life while they mistreated you. But some of them are taking God more seriously now. I'm telling you right now, God is setting an example through your life. He is setting an example. You see what I'm saying? And he is going to use your life as a testimony, but he's also going to use what people have done to you to teach them. And that's what's going to lead them closer to God. That may even make some people repent, because they're going to have to witness the outcome of your life, similar to what happened to Joseph. And where Joseph ended up, and how his brothers had to reconcile with him, but his brothers had to go to him and apologize. And you get what I'm saying? God has set an example. Keep him first, and remember to keep your heart upright. Don't change. Do not change. Do not glorify your wrath. Do not change. If anything, just be happy that God is going to give you peace and happiness, and you're going to be able to smile. You're going to be able to feel free. But do not laugh at someone's wrath. Okay? Anyways, I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.